Welcome to Uni Speaks Podcast. I'm your host, Shada, and welcome to episode 10, Self-Love. How do you speak positivity into yourself? So jumping right into it, I'm going to let you guys know that this might be a 2 to 3 part episode where I bring people in and just let them talk about how they bring positivity into themselves. We live in a day and age where we have so much against us. And I'm talking about male and females, boys and girls. And there's a lot of people out here suffering with depressions and mental health issues. And I, for one, am an advocate of mental health because, of course, everyone has mental health issues. And Mental Health Awareness Month in May, we're going to have a bonus episode where we do talk about mental health. So that's another topic. Let's go ahead and jump back in and talk about this self-love business and how do you speak positivity into yourself. So starting with myself, I want to say first that I give myself grace. Us as humans, we tend to be hard on ourselves and we forget that yo, bro, you don't have to be that hard on yourself. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to learn lessons. You might even repeat the same mistakes because the lesson that you learned, you really didn't learn it well enough. So the universe might give you another chance to make the same mistake to learn the lesson the correct way. I give myself a lot of grace because I deserve it. I give myself a lot of grace because there was times where I gave other people too much grace and I shouldn't have. So when the tables are turned, I give myself grace because why not? I'm going to take it easy on myself when it's necessary. I'm going to make sure that I give myself a chance and I give myself a chance to learn and I give myself a chance to learn from things that I've done that I really don't know why I did it, but I did it. I'm going to definitely give myself grace. Another thing that I always do is remind myself that I'm a bad bitch, respectfully. I have to remember what I bring to the table in every aspect. That's not talking about relationships. It's talking about friendships, from a job standpoint of view, from a daughter stand of view, point of view. Why y'all stand of view, point of view? Okay, it's all the same thing. But I just remember that respectfully when I say this, that I'm a bad bitch, period. I'm versatile. My way of thinking is definitely different than a lot of people. I'm an outside of the box type of person. You can talk to me about anything under the sun. I raise my child respectfully. I'm a dope ass parent. I just take a look at all the positivity that I bring to myself in this world and realize yo, regardless of everything that I've ever had going on, regardless of the challenges that I faced, I'm a bad bitch because it never let me down. I've never let myself down. Now, yeah, I've had a few bumps in the road. I have falling on my face, but it's not the fact that I fell on my face. It's not the fact that I hit that bump head on. It's not the fact that I slammed into the wall. It's how I came up out of all of that. It's how I leveled up out of all of that. It's how I literally overcame obstacles that some people crumble under. I'm a bad bitch and I stand on it. And if I don't stand on it, no one else is going to stand on it, because you know what anybody else is going to do? They're going to tell me why I'm not a bad bitch. And ain't nobody going to sit in my face and tell me why I'm not a bad bitch. And if you notice, I ain't say nothing sexual about being a bad bitch. And that's how I know I'm a bad bitch. I also remember that I'm not perfect and my mistakes are learning lessons, just like I said with giving myself grace. And y'all would notice me talking about my age when I say my big old age. At my big old age, I've been dating for almost 20 something plus years, and I've been learning lessons for 20 plus years. And there's some lessons that I learned that sticks with me to the point I refuse to make the same mistakes again. And the facts that I learned from them lessons and it have molded me to be the woman that I am today, I just know the woman that I've become and that I am becoming still is an amazing person. And I speak positivity into these changes that have molded me from who I was to who I am now. I speak positivity and I give myself my accolades because I know who I was before moving to Orlando, Florida. Being from Roxbury, Massachusetts, who I was before, that girl is no longer here. And I have come through hell and high water to become who I am today. And the lessons that came along with that, whether it was losing friendships, losing family, like understanding that being alone is okay, understanding that taking time out for myself to heal myself, to become who I am, is definitely imperative to my growth. And sometimes we forget who we are. We forget our importance. We forget our essence is meant to be loved on, and it's meant to be held in high regard. We forget that everything that we've been through is not the end. Sometimes you just have to remember who the fuck you are, period. Remember who the fuck you are. And that ties into I'm a bad bitch. Because once I remember who the fuck I am, baby, I'm a bad bitch. You can't tell me nothing. I'm a bad motherfucking bitch, period. Okay? I tend to keep a positive mindset. And with my positive mindset, it allows me to constantly speak positivity within myself. I just have a positive outlook. Even in the worst situations, I make sure that I have a positive outlook on it so that I don't get down about whatever the situation is. I could have a ticket for $350 and I'm like, okay, well, I got a ticket. I'm going to pay it. I know I can go to court and challenge the ticket and the judge may reduce my ticket amount. Like, keep a positive mindset, because if I don't speak that type of positivity into myself, now I got a $350 ticket. My rent is $15.95. My electricity is $307. My car payment is $5. I'm just going to go down in a rabbit hole, and I can't do that. I can't afford to go down into a rabbit hole. So I make sure that I always keep a positive mindset, because with a positive mindset, when you feel good, you dress good. When you dress good, you act good. And when you act good, good things come to you. And I learned that the hard way. And that's not the actual quote, but I'll come back later with the actual quote. So here's something that I say. I remember that I am, I will, and I will always. I'll always remember that I am, I will, and I will always. I remember that I am beautiful. I remember that I am smart. I remember that I am intelligent. Like that lady said, you is smart, you is kind, all of that. And I always remember that I will be somebody. I will always remember that I will make a statement. I always will remember that I will accomplish anything that I put my mind to. And I will always put myself first. I will always put my dreams first. And I will always make sure that I will be all set and good to go, because if I'm all set, my son will be all set. And with that statement, I said something. And the other way I speak positivity into myself is always to choose myself first. And I say that because we tend to put other people before us. And I'm not talking about our kids, because our kids is another avenue. Like, my son will always be first over me, right? But I'm just talking about in general. We put our jobs before us. We put people before us. We put things before us. Things before the things that we really don't need, but we put before us, right? So therefore, it's like one of those things where I have to make sure in all positivity that I put myself first, put myself in the correct situations, put myself around the correct people, have the correct people in my circle, have the correct partner by my side. And I put myself first because if it's not the correct partner, you got to go. If it's not the correct people, I got to remove myself. If it's not the correct friends, I've outgrown you and I have to move forward. We tend to sit and hold on to things that does not add no value to our lives. And in order to put yourself first and to maintain a cloud of positivity around yourself, you have to move the things and the people that brings no value to your life. And lastly, when I'm just not doing so good and I know I'm in a funk and the cloud has invaded, the negative cloud has invaded my positive aura, I tend to sage. And I typically sage on a full moon, and I write out everything that's bothering me, and I read it under the full moon, and I burn the paper up and give it to the universe. And then I go and I read the paper of everything positive that I want in my life, in my circle, around me, the things that I want to happen for me, the things that I need in my life. I write it. And when I write it, I read it out loud underneath the moon, underneath the stars with my sage, and I speak it into existence because I'm a firm believer of speaking what you want and what you need into existence. And when you do that, you fold that little piece of paper up and you put it in a book, and you go and reread that paper in that book under the full moon and see what you have manifested. And if things are starting to, let's say, form in full circle, you're doing something right. So this is part 1 of episode 10, self-love, and how do you speak positivity into yourself. Stay tuned for part 2.
So I'm here with Ashley, and today we are going to ask you the same question. What do you do to speak positivity into yourself?
So normally I would try to say a little prayer and just tell myself that I got it. Whatever it is, you got this, girl.
I know that's right. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you so much for your input, and I appreciate you.
No problem.
Next up, we have... So I'm here with Monique, and Monique is going to tell us how she speaks positivity into herself and into her marriage. Let's go.
Well, I'm not exactly sure how. I just try to always find the positivity in every situation. It's really easy to kind of be down in the dumps, and you just have to always constantly remind yourself and remind your partner that, one thing that we always do anytime I notice that he is feeling a little down or feeling like a little negative, I'll just tell him, like, all right, stop everything right now and tell me 5 things you're grateful for.
Ooh, that's good.
And so when you're feeling bad about yourself, and sometimes in the beginning it's a little hard, you're like, all right, well, what am I thankful for? I'm thankful for food, and I'm thankful for water. But at the same time, once you continue to practice that muscle of gratitude, then you start to find positive attributes in every negative scenario.
God damn, Mo. Okay.
What's up?
I love it. Thank you so much for that input. I appreciate you. And next up we have Kiba, and she is going to tell us how she speaks positivity to herself and into her little girls at home. Let's go.
So one way I honestly speak positivity to both me, my girls, and myself is I tell them I love them every single day. Random moments of the day, I just walk up and give them hugs. I say, I love you, Pookie Butt. I love you, Stinker. And they always tell me they love me back. They tell me I'm the best mom. And honestly, with them telling me that in return, it's enough validation for myself to be positive and to just remain upbeat for them.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your input.
You're welcome, love bug.
I appreciate you. So next up, we have Tariq, and he is going to tell us how he speaks positivity into himself.
Yes. Speaking positivity into myself. I do it through just looking at where I'm at. When I wake up in the morning, I see that I'm awake. So right then and there, I thank my creator. I say, I'm awake. I made it. That right there is like the start of my day. That right there is the foundation of me speaking positivity into myself, because I know there's people who are not waking up this morning.
Agreed.
From there, I do keep sticky notes with affirmations.
Yes.
Everywhere I go. So the first thing, once I go into the bathroom to wash my face, brush my teeth, right on my mirror, I have a sticky note that says, everything you do, everything you face, you'll get through it, and good things happen to you unexpectedly all the time. I read that and it just sets my day up to know that no matter what challenges I have, I'm going to get through them. And along the way, positive things are going to happen for me, whether I'm aware of it or not. So that just kind of sets my day up. From there, I see my family. I'm the first one up, but once I see their faces, the day starts getting more positive for me. And what keeps me pushing through the day is knowing that I'll be able to see them when I get home. So that's kind of how I start my day and end my day on a positive note, and how I speak positivity into myself.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
That definitely hit a few bell ringers for us. Those affirmations on the mirror in the morning was definitely a one-up, and I might steal some from you. Okay. So thank you so much for taking the time out to record with me today. I appreciate you. And next up again, guys, we have Jillian.
Hello.
So Jillian, tell us, how do you speak positivity into yourself and or your babies at home?
For myself, I just have to remind myself that I'm greater than my circumstances.
Ooh.
When I go back and look at all of the things that I have been through in my life, just starting from a young age,
speak on it.
I know that anything that comes my way, I can handle it. I know just the way that I was raised and like the way that the world has taught me things. I have the tools within inside of me to handle any situation that comes my way.
Look at you trying to be deep on this book. Yeah,
It's the truth.
Go on now.
It's the truth.
Speak your shit. So how do you speak positivity into your children? When they, because kids go through their little motions where they feel some type of way. How do you speak positivity into them babies? Because I know we have some listeners, men and women, who have children, and they might not speak affirmations into their kids. They may not know how to do so, and this topic might be able to help them. Like, well, dag, maybe if I do post a post-it note on my window in the morning, it may help. Or maybe if I, do tell my kid I love them every day, multiple times a day, they would know what it feels like to be loved.
You know what? In those situations, it is true. Just you don't realize, I think sometimes as a parent, the things that you said to your children, how much of an impact it has on them.
Thanks.
Just me reminding my son every day, like how smart you are, how strong you are, how handsome you are. For example, if I've tried it with him before, like just kidding around with him, like, hey, just like, you ugly. I was like, Mommy, I know you lying. I'm very handsome. Like just those little things that you speak into them that they hold on to and they grasp. So I'm always for speaking life into them, just reminding them constantly how strong they are, how loved they are, how beautiful they are. Just those little things. And that's something that you, with this day and age, that you really need to remind your kids, because they have so many other influence impacting them that I didn't necessarily have, just with the age of social media and like how everything is changing in relationships that kids have with each other, that you have to remind them of that, because not only before with us, you was just getting bullied or picked on in school. Now it happens at school and it happens at home, because that technology is available to them. So it's always just speak life into them.
Yeah, just speak life into them. And you're absolutely right with that. Like from a young age, I started to tell my son, because, we grew up in an era like kids don't speak until spoken to. And then I don't care what you say, I'm still going to beat your ass because I know you did it, but you hard. So I always tell my son, like, his voice matters and he's very important.
100%.
He's smarter than he knows, and he can do anything he put his mind to. But then in them same tokens, I also have to even though I'm speaking life to the life that I gave, I also have to speak life into myself and give myself them same affirmations that I give him, because us as adults and as parents, whether you're a single parent or you co-parent or you're married parents, we are our own worst critic and we are hard on ourselves.
100%.
And we have to maintain our affirmations as well.
Yep.
And like I said in the very beginning, I constantly remind myself that I'm a bad bitch, respectfully.
Yep.
And it has nothing to do with any of this razzle dazzle out here today. I have attributes and things that I bring to the table that not everybody can bring to the table, which makes me a bad bitch.
100%.
100%. So I want to thank you for giving me your tidbit for this podcast. And next up we have Laura. How do you speak positivity into yourself?
So, well, what I do tell myself is that I'm a bad bitch, because
I know that's right.
You just gotta fake it till you make it. Even if you don't necessarily truly believe that, the more you tell yourself over time, you will begin to believe that. Yes. And then just when I'm having a tough day, I will take some deep breaths, sit on the floor, ground myself. And I tell myself to smell the roses. So breathe in through your nose and blow out the birthday candles and exhale through your mouth. And that helps regulate blood pressure, also brings your heart rate down. So that's really great for, calming yourself down when you're going through it.
I know that's right, because I be needing to smell the roses and breathe out the fire here, because I be stressed out sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Listen,
life is crazy.
Stories.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for giving me your input for this episode 10 of Uni Speaks Podcast.
I'm so honored.
Thank you. Next up, we have Kivia coming in here today. Letting us know how she speaks positivity or her gorgeous baby at home. Let's go.
Oh, thank you for that, Shada. So I definitely am getting to a point where I want to speak more positivity into myself by speaking positivity into my daughter. Every day I tell her, that I love her, of course. We say a prayer, and I tell her that she can go and do anything that she wants to do. She can be anything that she wants to be. I make sure that she understands that school is important and that she has to try her best. And I encourage her to do so. I also tell her that she is amazing and beautiful and all of the things that she is. I make sure that she understands that she is. And yeah. That's pretty much it.
And I think that is great. Like, as parents, like I said before, that we speak positive affirmation into our kids, so they don't seek validation elsewhere.
Yes.
So they don't seek validation from these so-called friends at school. To feel pretty, to feel important, and to feel cute. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That seeking validation from other people to have, let's say, affirmations be told to them by these kids, because we know it's not going to happen. It's, oh, you ugly. You're ugly today. You ugly.
Yes.
Listen, you ain't ugly. You just mad because you ugly.
Yeah.
And as we keep and as we always speak affirmations into our kids, let somebody tell my son he ugly. He gonna be like, your mama ugly.
Yeah. I definitely have to do that with her and just let her know, people are going to say things. That doesn't mean that they're true. I always tell her, you don't have to believe it. You don't have to feed into it. You definitely are a beautiful person, strong person. You're a sweet and kind child. And I definitely let her know that people's opinion does not matter. And you don't have to be what they are saying.
Or be what they want you to be.
Be what you want to be. Yes.
You don't have to act how they want you to act. And if you're thick and fine, you're thick and fine. I'm just big boned and skinny.
Yes.
And listen,
yeah.
we can go on for this. But thank you so much for participating in this episode.
Of course.
I truly appreciate you. And
anything for you.
Next up, we have... Okay, Pender, so you're up next. So we are on episode 10, and episode 10 is self-love. And the question is, how do you speak positivity into yourself?
Okay. You ready to ask me? Okay.
Yeah, I'm waiting for you to answer the question.
Damn. Yeah. Girl, don't do
it's
me
always
missing.
you. It is always you. Okay, go ahead.
It is. Well, listen, how do I speak self-love into myself? Well, my name ain't Zen for a reason. You know what I'm saying? So I'm the person of self-love. I talk about self-love. I'm the epitome of self-love. I love self-love, you know. So what I feel like when it comes to self-love and pouring into yourself, I have a daily routine, you know. And self-love, I feel like it shouldn't cost a thing. A lot of people like, oh, I'm gonna be self-love Sundays where I'm gonna go and get my nails done and get my hair done and do all these materialistic things that you gotta spend money. But I feel like when you are pouring into yourself, self-love don't have to cost a thing. Like literally in the morning when I do my self-love, like when I wake up before I even get out of the bed and open my eyes, I start to do breath work, meditate, and pray to God. You know, and whoever you praying to, it can be God, the universe, or whomever you choose to. But my self-love starts with putting me first because I got to get my mind right before I even start my day. So my self-love routines start even before I even get out of the bed. You know, breath work, breathing, speaking positivity into myself, motivating myself before I even get out of that bed. You know, and then once I'm done with that, my self-love, my motivation is like, okay, well, what I'm about to do with myself, what I need to do with my day to get my day started in the right way. That may just be going outside and breathing fresh air and letting some of that vitamin D hit my skin, you know, and then tending to my garden because that brings me joy, you know. So that's my self-love, you know. And then doing my morning routine where I go in and do my face and then have my coffee and put my motivational words or of encouragement or whoever I'm gonna listen to that day. That's me pouring into my self-love. Like that's what self-love to me is, you know. So I feel like when people think of self-love, there's so many levels to it. This thing called self-love, but I really feel like it's about being selfish. This is my time for me. In order for me to do me, you know.
I'm with you.
Don't bother me. Don't say nothing to me because again, if I can't pour into myself and if I can't do what I need to do in order to get my day started in the correct way, you might get that other part of me that you don't like. You know what I'm saying? So being that I need my self-love and my self-care, I have to be selfish with my time. I have to take that time to pour into me before I can pour into anybody else.
Agreed. And you said something very important in the beginning. Damn, it was just on my mind and I forgot it. Hold on, pause. You said something very good. Self-love doesn't have to require money. And that's what people, like you said, sometimes people don't understand that. Like, you don't have to go get your nails done and your toes done and spend buku amount of money because half of us out here in this world, we live in paycheck to paycheck, robbing Peter, Paul, and Jesus. Telling them they paid him back, right?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, self-love is actually your mindset. You know what I mean? It's like you said, speaking positivity into yourself. Sometimes we can wake up on the wrong side of the bed. Me being who I am, sometimes I have horrible wake-ups on the wrong side of the bed. But I just always have to remind myself, like, I have to love myself first. And I am a bad bitch. You know what I mean? I get up, go wash my face, brush my teeth. And then I have to just remind myself, like, yo, it could be 1,000 times worse, but it's not. So I love on myself in the retrospect of understanding that I'm going to be okay. And whatever I'm feeling, it's okay. This too shall pass because it's only temporary. And sometimes people tend to dwell on things that are temporary, and then they put themselves in a, say, negative mindset instead of thinking about the positive aspects of it all.
Right.
Just like you said, whether it's doing your facial routine in the morning. Let me tell y'all, this is for another topic. I have a shopping addiction, but Temu is my go-to place for self-love. I will self-love on myself at Temu. I got on them press-on toenails. I got on my little press-ons and stuff. And even though you might not even think I got on press-on toenails, I love when I take off my sneakers and boom, my toes is looking pretty. Right. So That's self-loving on yourself. Just those little things that make you happy is what matters most. I can buy myself a brand new pack of hair sponges, and baby, when I tell you I love it and I'm like super happy,
Listen,
just the little things that matter.
If anybody know you and they know you love some crunchy ice, your self-love is taking your back in the day, taking your little cooler and your cups and put it up on crushed ice. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you did that for yourself. You know you needed that. I'm pouring into myself. Even small things that bring you joy is self-love. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was going through a bad time in life, and I was looking for love in all the wrong places. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And literally I had to go on a journey, and I called it a self-love journey. And my family, friends, and everybody knew, like, listen, I'm going to be selfish in this season. I'm pouring into myself. It is self-love season for Chanel, you know, and to the point where even when I got up in the morning, I went and I printed like motivational quotes off, and I pasted them on my mirror in my bathroom. Wow. And you know, people can tell you that you're beautiful, but baby, if you don't believe that or feel that, it doesn't even matter. You ain't
never gonna receive the message.
You won't. You'll feel like you're ugly. So in order for me, I knew that I needed to get out of that slump. I knew that I needed to get into a better mind space. And sometimes self-love is just getting out of a mindset that is unhealthy for you. I knew that I needed to get out of that mindset. So in order for me to be able to become the woman that I am today, I had to do more of